Nobody exists on purpose. Nobody belongs anywhere. Everybody's gonna die. Come watch TV. This single line, delivered by Morty Smith in Rick and Morty, Season 1, Episode 8, is not just a throwaway moment of teenage angst. It is the philosophical spine of the entire multiverse the show inhabits. It marks the exact point where the series stops being merely a chaotic sci-fi satire and reveals itself as something deeper, a meditation on infinity, insignificance, and what it means to keep going anyway. To understand why this is the ultimate nihilist quote, we have to step into the context. Morty is speaking to his sister Summer, who is spiraling after discovering she was an accident. Her identity, once grounded in the comforting illusion of intentionality, suddenly feels arbitrary. Morty responds not with denial, not with reassurance, but with brutal clarity. He gestures toward the backyard and confesses something even more destabilizing. He is not the original Morty of this dimension. The real version of himself is buried in another timeline. He is a replacement, living in a house literally built on top of his own corpse. This is not teenage melodrama. This is radical acceptance of the void. When most people hear the word nihilism, they imagine despair, black clothing, and the rejection of all value. They picture a philosophy of destruction. But the show introduces a subtler variant, optimistic nihilism. In an infinite multiverse, every possible event occurs infinitely. Every triumph is mirrored by failure. Every heartbreak is echoed somewhere else by joy. Mathematically, each individual life trends towards zero against the scale of eternity. On the surface, this is terrifying. It erases destiny. It dissolves the comforting narrative that we are chosen, guided, or central. It strips away divine plans and heroic arcs. If everything happens infinitely, then nothing is unique. If nothing is unique, what is the point? Morty flips the script. If nothing matters on a cosmic scale, then the pressure dissolves. If you were not born for a specific purpose, you cannot fail at fulfilling it. If you do not belong anywhere by divine decree or biological destiny, then belonging becomes a matter of choice. Cosmic indifference becomes existential freedom. This is the hidden gateway from the cave of despair to the field of freedom. Rick Sanchez embodies the darker path. As the smartest being in the multiverse, he knows the secret. Existence is a chaotic accident without inherent meaning. But instead of liberating him, this knowledge corrodes him. He becomes hyper-competent and emotionally bankrupt. He weaponizes nihilism. If nothing matters, then consequences are negotiable. Attachments are liabilities. Empathy becomes optional. Rick lives inside the wreckage of enlightenment. Morty, on the other hand, stumbles into something wiser. He does not deny the void. He domesticates it. He takes the cold truth and makes it small enough to sit with. Come watch TV is not apathy. It is grounding. It is a refusal to let infinity rob the present moment of value. Because if the universe does not assign meaning, then meaning becomes something we construct locally. In the absence of cosmic purpose, relational purpose takes over. The couch becomes sacred. The shared laugh becomes significant. The sandwich tastes better precisely because it will end. When Morty says, "Nobody exists on purpose," he is acknowledging biological randomness. We are the product of evolutionary accidents, genetic lotteries, and astronomical coincidences. There is no cosmic script with your name written in gold ink. When he says, "Nobody belongs anywhere," he is quietly dismantling tribalism. Borders, cliques, hierarchies, these are human inventions layered over a universe that does not recognize them. If belonging is not predetermined, it can be chosen. You are not bound to a narrative you did not author. And when he says, "Everybody's gonna die," he is leveling the hierarchy completely. Mortality is the great equalizer. Genius and fool, king and janitor, Rick and Morty, all share the same finite endpoint. Death, in this framing, is not just tragic. It is what makes urgency possible. The final line, Come watch TV is the most misunderstood. It sounds like surrender. It sounds like distraction. But it is, in a strange way, an act of defiance. In a universe that offers no inherent meaning, choosing to enjoy something trivial becomes a creative act. Presence becomes rebellion. This is where the show's tragedy sharpens. Rick uses nihilism to excuse his detachment and cruelty. He hides behind cosmic insignificance to avoid vulnerability. Morty uses nihilism as a bandage. When his family fractures under the weight of existential dread, he offers not answers, but companionship. Look at the structural genius here. The smartest man in the universe cannot cope with meaninglessness, while the dumb kid finds a livable philosophy inside it. There is a lesson buried in that inversion. To stare into infinity and not blink requires two things: acceptance and limitation. Acceptance of the scale, limitation to the moment. Morty understands that you cannot compete with the cosmos. You can only inhabit your slice of it fully. This 35-minute journey into Morty's exhausted wisdom is really about reframing nihilism. It is not a call to despair. It is a stripping away of illusions so that something smaller, more human, can emerge. Meaning is not discovered like a hidden treasure. It is assembled from scraps. Like Rick building a universe-hopping machine out of junk parts in a garage, we build significance out of random materials: friendships, hobbies, inside jokes, shared suffering, late-night conversations. The raw components are accidental. The structure is intentional. We are all accidents of chemistry and chance. We are all temporary configurations of atoms. We are all moving toward the same silence. And yet, precisely because nothing is guaranteed, everything becomes sharper. The hug matters because it will end. The show matters because it will be over. The person on the couch matters because one day they won't be there. Morty's quote is not the anthem of despair. It is the permission slip to stop waiting for cosmic validation. It is the recognition that the universe owes you nothing, and that this absence of obligation is freedom. Once you accept that nobody exists on purpose, you are free from failing a destiny. Once you accept that nobody belongs anywhere, you are free to choose your tribe. Once you accept that everybody's going to die, you are free to live urgently. The abyss does not blink, but neither do you. And once you truly, deeply accept this is all temporary, accidental, and finite, you stop trying to be the protagonist of the universe and start being present in your own life. We are all accidents. We are all temporary. We are all going to die. And that is exactly why we can finally begin.